Welcome to episode 9 of Kellen's Petty Talk Show. As always, this episode is sponsored by the Almighty Pie Bake Shop. Delicious pies baked daily in the heart of LA and delivered fresh to your door. Just call 818-986-1441. That's 818-986-1441, or follow them on Instagram at Pie Bake Shop. That's P-I Bake Shop. On this episode of Kellen's Petty Talk Show, I'm pleased to have the actor that plays Art the Clown, the craziest mime of darkness that ever lived, David Howard Thornton. For now, you can go watch his film Terrifier, which is free and available to watch on Netflix. At some point next year, Terrifier 2 will be released, and everyone will have trouble falling asleep. David Howard Thornton, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. Love the intro music.
Thank you. I had to be prepared, you know?
Yeah, it's so weird to me to think I actually have a theme song. It's like, what?
I know. This whole thing is crazy.
Yeah, that dawned on Damien and I last year when we were doing a convention, when we came out for a Q&A session and they started playing that. We're like, oh my God, we do have a theme song.
How often can you tell people you have your own theme song? It's not very often.
Yeah, not very
I mean,
often.
anybody can make their own theme song, but when you're behind a legendary film like this, it's a lot different.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, everybody could like have a guy follow them with a tuba like on Family Guy or something
Exactly,
like that.
yeah.
You know?
Wah, wah, wah. So, Damien Leone had directed the character of Art the Clown in All Hallows Eve, as well as the original Terrifier short film from 2011.
Mm-hmm.
How did you come into the picture and replace the last guy?
Mike Gianelli, who was original Art, he decided to go off and do other things with his life.
Yeah.
He just didn't want to do the acting thing anymore, and so they posted a notice on a website for actors called Actors Access.
Oh, okay.
Looking for a tall, skinny guy that has clowning or physical comedy experience.
Nice.
And I was already familiar with the role because I had seen All Hallows Eve. I loved the character. I was like, oh hell yes, I have got to do this. It's like, I am perfect for this. This is totally up my alley and stuff like that. So I was like, because I had always wanted to get into film work, because before that I'd always just done stage and voiceover. So I was like, this is a perfect segue for me to get into film work. So glad it worked out.
No, for sure. And I actually saw recently, we're on Actors Access too. I saw that Terrifier 2 was on there when you guys were casting that.
Yeah,
so that's cool. I didn't know the first one was, but that's sweet.
Yeah, it was on there.
Did you see the Terrifier short film before you were cast, or did you have to go back and watch it?
Yeah, I had seen it before, so I already knew what the character's like. But I went back and rewatched it again, just to, especially right when I found out I got the audition, I went in just to refresh my memory on like the basics of the character and his his little bit of the movements and stuff like there that Mike did. So I was like, okay, I know I had a good foundation to start my character with, which is nice, because a lot of times, when you go in for an audition, you're creating the character on the fly. So it's like, oh God, okay, I hope I give them what they need. But this way I knew what Damien was looking for to begin with. So I had a great starting place to go from.
Yeah, you could properly prepare that way.
Oh yeah. Did you foresee Terrifier becoming a full-length feature?
Oh yeah, because that's how it was originally written, as a full-length feature film and stuff like that. So yeah, I saw that, but I did not expect the success that it got, though. That because we were honest with ourselves from the get-go that we were just a low-budget independent film. So we thought, well, maybe the fans of All Hallows Eve that are out there will like this. That's who we were doing it for. And we were like, well, if it gets picked up by anybody, that would be awesome. But who knows?
Yeah, I had never seen the short film before seeing Terrifier, but I had seen All Hallows Eve. He's not in the second one, is he? All Hallows Eve 2?
No, he's not at all in there. No. Yeah, there was even like a legal dispute for a moment there where they tried to put Art on the cover of All Hallows Eve 2, and Damien was like, absolutely not.
Well, he's not in it.
Yeah, it's like, you don't try to sell this on the image of the character when the character's not even involved in it.
Yeah.
No, bad move.
I haven't even heard much about that one. That's why I never watched it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet either. I hear it's actually pretty decent, though. But I'm like,
is it? Okay.
But it doesn't have Art.
Yeah, that kind of takes the fun out of it.
Yeah.
Do you stay in character on set when you're not filming?
Oh God, no.
No?
No, I'm not one of those actors like that. I can it's like once I know who the character is in my head, I can turn it on, turn it off like that. That comes from years of doing stage work.
Yeah.
So someone's horny.
I had to have that.
Yeah, but it's like it's probably a weird thing for my coworker to see me. So one second I'm like choking them out, the next second when they say cut, I'm like, oh my god, are you okay?
Yeah.
Especially when I'm covered in blood, like looking the way I look, I'm like, you hear this? Oh, are you okay?
Yeah. I don't know why. I just like pictured you just being on set, just making the faces, just even when the cameras aren't rolling.
Oh, I still do that. I goof around a lot. That's the great thing about the character, but I'm not going around just being malicious and violent and stuff like that. I'm still being a prankster. So I'm, especially with this one, I was having fun just constantly sneaking up behind Lauren Lavera, our female lead who plays Sienna.
Yeah.
She's fun to scare, so I would like to sneak up behind her and just stand behind her silently, so when she turned around, I'd be right there in her face. It's like, yeah, I'm amazed I haven't gotten smacked in the face yet by her yet, because she takes kickboxing and stuff like that. I think she actually teaches kickboxing, so I am cruising for a bruising, really.
Yeah. The opening is an homage to Nightmare on Elm Street with Art the Clown getting all dressed and ready to kill. That was Damien's idea, right?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, totally.
Really
that was totally a reference to Nightmare on Elm Street. That was exactly what he was going for.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And then I watched the commentary, and he pretty much just says it right there. He's like, yeah, that was an homage to Elm Street.
Oh, yeah. There's so many homages in this film.
Are there any others that I might have missed? Like, what's like another one?
Oh, God. I mean, like...
I know there's a ton, but...
There's like the little bit like where one I added in was where I'm like dragging the knife across the window. That was a little bit more of an homage to Freddy dragging the claw against the wall and stuff like that. Those little things, just like little things here or there, just for fun. Just for fun.
That kind of leads into a question I had. Like, did you get any inspiration from other horror characters to bring, art to life?
Oh, definitely. I mean, Freddy, of course, is a huge inspiration for me too, because I kind of look at art as basically the bastard child of Freddy Krueger and Harpo Marx. So, and he actually has a lot of the facial features of Freddy Krueger as well. The nose especially. There's a lot of Freddy in him, a lot of Joker in him as well.
I can see that.
I would say, but I kind of look at art is basically a big, huge amalgamation of every single iconic horror villain that has come before him. There's bits of Jason, Mike Myers, Pinhead, Leatherface, Chucky, Freddy, all of those guys in him.
All your worst nightmare combined into one.
Yeah.
I think when thinking of like the major serial killers, Michael Myers and Chucky are my two favorites.
Yeah.
They're fun.
They're just fun. Halloween series in general, I feel like, is the most solid, like in terms of like most like good entries in it. Friday the 13th got a couple hit or misses. Elm Street's got a couple. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know. Those are a little stronger, I'd say, than the Friday.
Well, now that I think of it, when you mentioned Mike Myers, like I kind of can see how it drives inspiration for art. He's just that mysterious figure that's just keeps popping up, and you don't know what he is or what his intentions are.
Yeah, you don't know what his. That's what I love about Mike Myers, especially since they kind of retconned that whole thing with him being Laurie's brother and stuff like that. It's like, wow, so he's just going after her just to go after her. There's no reason, and that's kind of how art is too. It's like no one knows why he's doing it. It's like basically, I like to say like the homeless woman nailed it. He's just doing it because he thinks it's fun. This is funny to him. So it's like it's
his game.
Yeah, exactly. He's not going out for revenge or anything like that. He's just doing this because it's fun. That's kind of scary.
So what is Art's backstory then? Is there one?
Yeah, there is. I know it.
Oh, I see. It's secret. It's secret. Yeah, maybe it'll come out in Terrifier too.
we offer a few small clues here or there, I would say. Cool. Maybe a red herring or something like that in there too. But I'm like, we'll address more of that, I think, in part 3. We have ideas about how to finally address it, because you can't leave people hanging forever, but you also don't want to reveal everything. Plus, having that mystique there behind the characters adds more of the desire to see more of him, because he's like, it's fun having that mystery behind him. It's like, I think that's why people love Joker so much, because you don't truly know who he was before he became the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Do you have a favorite Joker?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Mark Hamill by far.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I think Mark truly like understood the character, especially when he got to the Arkham games.
Yeah.
I think he really embraced like he was able to go darker with him in the Arkham games than he was in the animated series for obvious reasons. And I think he truly just encapsulated what the character is all about.
What did you think of the new Joker?
It's a mixed feeling about that movie, because as a whole, as a movie itself, it's a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
But I think that the movie would have been equally as good if it didn't have any of the Batman elements, because that was not the Joker of the comic books at all.
Yeah.
It's like the Joker of the comic books is in control of the chaos.
Mm-hmm.
This Joker was all about just like, oh, whatever happens, happens. And that's not Joker at all. Joker's a master strategist. He's like, several steps ahead. He has a plan. It just looks chaotic, but to him, he understands the chaos, and he knows how to manipulate the chaos.
You actually portrayed the Joker. It was a fan film, correct?
Correct, yeah. It's a fan series called Nightwing Escalation.
Can we hear your impersonation of the Joker, please?
Oh, you want to hear a little bit of the Joker? It's a little bit more, inspired by the Mark Hamill version.
Dude, that is spot on.
That's
oh my
awesome.
God.
It puts a smile on my face.
That's hilarious.
That's great.
Yeah, it's I figure if you're gonna pull from the from those who've come before, you might as well pull from the best.
Oh yeah,
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. But, I've done my own thing with it as well, because I've basically what I did with my version of Joker. I took bits and pieces from the other Jokers that came before me and just kind of mashed it all together. There's especially a lot of Romero in my version as well.
He's a Romero, yeah. He was amazing.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh, he was.
Way back in the day.
It's like I would say he's the best live action version of the Joker I've ever seen, especially for comparing to him to the version that he was portraying at the time, which was very accurate to the comic book at the time. Is that in the era of the 60s, that's when it was a lot more campy.
That's what made it so great, though. The campiness of like 60s, even the 70s TV shows, like anything that was like the Incredible Hulk, that was campy. Batman.
Oh yeah,
campy. Everything was campy.
But they knew what they were, and they embraced it.
They did. They did for sure.
So we actually both worked on set with Catherine Corcoran from Troma's Return to Nukem High movies.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah, we were there in 2012.
Whew, I've heard that was rough going through all that.
It was crazy. We didn't get paid. We had to buy our own food. We had to sit on set sometimes for like 17 hours.
And then I remember I almost got my nose broken when they were filming the end scene.
It was nuts.
Somebody just like there was like a huge like cheering scene, and then and then boom, I just got like whacked right in the nose, and I just started bleeding.
Oh no!
Yeah, we were on set for like 8 or 9 days for that.
Oh, I can imagine. I've heard all kinds of horror stories, especially when everybody was camped out in that school and stuff like that for a while.
Yeah, it was weird. Like it definitely, like most people would say that totally sucks, but for some reason it was actually really fun. I mean, obviously certain aspects sucked, but like I don't know why. It was just a fun set because it was just so different from like the norm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of how Terrifier is too.
Really?
Yeah, because like we've had a camp out like in the first one. I when we're filming in Trenton, I had to stay in the small cabin out in the middle of the woods near Six Flags with the whole entire crew, and we're all like about 10 of us cramped in this 1 bedroom, maybe 2 bedroom cabin, and that was an experience in itself.
Are you talking about Six Flags Great Adventure?
Yeah.
Oh, I've been there once. That's a decent park.
Oh yeah. We didn't have good water there. We had to bring our own water in and stuff like that because it was like well water that they had. So it was just like, oh.
Yikes.
And then like on set, the building we were filming in Trenton had no heat and no running water.
Yeah, I've been through that. I've been through that kind of shit. Yeah.
That's not fun, especially when you're covered in so much blood and
Yeah.
you have to get it off somehow. So like the night that I did the whole like Buffalo Bill scene, I was covered from head to toe in blood and glue and all this crap. And then all the stuff I touched on the floor of this nasty building. I'm like, if I'm immune to coronavirus, it's because of that building probably.
Yeah.
And probably also one of the buildings we were filming in for part 2. So I'm like, yeah, it's just like, so it's like, it's when you have a shower, you don't realize what a wonderful thing a shower is until you don't have one.
Oh, exactly.
When you have to take a whore's bath with paper towels and bottles of water to get everything off.
When I originally saw the film at a small mom and pop theater called the Screening Room in Buffalo, New York, when the film had its like small theatrical run, I absolutely died laughing when I saw Catherine's kill. The part where you're doing the hysterical laugh, the mime laugh, while you're sawing her in half, like vagina down. That is the greatest part of that whole movie to me. I love it.
Oh, thank you.
The first time I watched it, I was just like, no, what's he gonna do? And then I was just like, oh my god, no!
I was laughing for like a straight.
People don't expect us to show it all. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Is they're like, oh my god, they're actually showing. I actually, speaking to Catherine, we had a fun moment when we did a screening of it at one of these colleges in New Jersey when we first released. We're sitting next to each other. That scene came up, and we just see these two girls just get up and walk out during it. And we're like, we just high-fived each other right there. We're like, yes, we got them.
I know. I love walkouts. It's the best.
If they're walking out, you're doing something right, man.
Yeah. They just couldn't handle it.
I saw walkouts during an American Guinea Pig movie once. That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you ever seen those. Those are like as grotesque as they get. It's just
oh wow.
It's like nudity and sex and blood the whole time. There's no story really. It's just like, let's see how gross and just horrible we can get. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I saw The Green Inferno in the theater, and people were walking out left and right. They couldn't handle it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I saw that movie once in the theater. I liked it. A lot of people hate it though.
Yeah, it's like with horror films, that's one of those times where it's like, okay, we got some people walking out. We did good. It's not one of those like, oh shit, we suck.
Yeah.
It's like, yes.
It depends on what kind of film it is, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
What's your favorite kill from the film?
Most people would think it would be the hacksaw scene, but I think my favorite one was the decapitation of Mike Levy's character, the Exterminator. I thought that was that was fun in so many ways because, first of all, like most people don't know that Mike and his guys, they're like the two cops, their film company, Jason and Steve. Most people don't know that their film company, Fuzz on the Lens Film, they started the whole entire scary clown craze back in like 2014 or something like that. With he was the Staten Island Clown. He was the guy that was standing outside with the clown mask on with the balloons and just freaking people out all over Staten Island. And I recently watched the documentary of Wrinkles the Clown, and he was saying that he did it first. I'm like, no, Mike and his brother and Steve, those guys, they did it before. It's like, that's what I think is cool about that scene is like I end up killing the Staten Island Clown. So that's a fun little Easter egg. People are always like, oh, well, you should, try to kill Pennywise. I'm like, I killed the guy that started the whole scary clown craze anyway. And that's how it goes. Plus, it's an awesome kill, too. It's a really good decapitation. Like, the prosthetic work that Damien did for that was amazing. I was like, how much that fake head looked like Mike was unbelievable. Plus, it was so much fun just, like, pulling that thing back like a Pez dispenser and then popping it right off because I only had one chance to do it. So I was a little bit scared because like, oh, don't mess this up, man. You only got one chance and it came out just right with the skin stretching out, snapping. I was like, oh, that looks so cool. Plus, there was so much blood.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, no, Mike and Jason, those guys are awesome.
Oh, they are so much fun. They are so much fun to work with.
I've been following their stuff since 2013 when they did their Halloween fan film as well. And I've just been seeing them, build up from there. And, I hung out with them at the Halloween 40th anniversary convention, because I know that they have Tamara Glynn for Terrifier 2 now.
Yeah.
So no,
So
but like
cool.
just to see like how far that they've been getting, it's really impressive, and I'm really proud of those guys.
Oh, they're so good. They are so freaking talented too. It's like not only are they good on, behind the camera, they're good on camera too. Like Mike and Jason are just so funny. I don't know if you've seen their film Abnormal Attraction yet.
I've been meaning to watch that.
Oh my God, Jason in that, he is hysterical. He plays his character Finbar, he's hard to describe. He looks like some kind of troll, but he's like this redneck troll, but he's supposed to be human, and it's just like, oh my God, he's hysterical in this movie. It's just and just on set, those guys are so much fun to work with too. Especially Jason is like one of those guys. He's really good for keeping morale up, especially when we're like 14, 15 hours into the day and we're all exhausted. And Jason comes in doing something just crazy and funny, and it just makes us all just laugh. We're like, okay, now we're good. We're good to go. We're good to go.
Did you ever see it was like a parody trailer for the new Halloween. It was they called it Age 60.
Yeah.
It was.
Oh, I saw that.
It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant.
Oh my God.
It's like scene by scene the trailer of like Halloween 40. I'm not 40, but 20 of what? No, 40. Yeah, 40. Yeah,
40.
Yeah.
I'm getting my numbers confused now. It's because I'm distracted by my roommate's cat. She's over here just trying to like come on camera. I'm like, no. She's the one I did my little catfishing video with recently. It's like when you don't want her to perform, that's when she wants to perform. It's just like, we're like, hey, perform for me. She's like, no. Oh, there she is. She saw the camera. Oh, no, I'm on camera. No, I'm getting out.
Yeah, Mike and Jason seem like they have to be a total trip to work with. I'd love to work with them one day.
Oh, I do get to work with them again later on this year. They're starting up what they're hoping is going to be another really good horror trilogy. I think it's called Stream. It's an awesome concept. I wish I could say more about it, but I don't want to give away anything because I don't want anybody trying to steal their ideas. Oh, it's a fantastic concept. I'm actually surprised it hasn't been done before. So I'm just like, this is going to be really a lot of fun. I'm excited about working with them again. So I'm like, yes.
Yeah, please keep us up to date with that, please. We would like to know more about what goes on with that.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, we're hoping to start filming this fall on that, but we got to finish Terrifier 2 first.
Yeah.
How much do you guys have left to film?
Man, I think I had maybe 4 or 5 more days left on set. Damn. Before we had to go into lockdown. So that's what's so annoying about this all. It's like, man, we're so close. We're right at the finish line, and it's just like, now we got to stop for a while. So it's just like, ugh.
Damn.
But the good thing is Damien has been taking this time to both build all the prosthetics we need for these last scenes and to edit everything we've already filmed so far, which is, basically 90% of the film easily. So he's keeping us on track. Yeah. He's making good use of his quarantine time.
Yeah. So how amazed were you at the practical gore effects that were being used for the film?
I'm constantly amazed with him. It's like Damien is like, he does that all himself too. It's just like, and he's self-taught. He didn't go to school for this. He just taught himself by being a huge fan of Tom Savini. And the thing is, you guys are not seeing some of the details that he actually puts into these prosthetics. Mm-hmm. That so much gets lost that on camera. Because it's the minutia that he puts into these things. Like case in point, like the face that I'm stabbing into in the pizzeria scene. I expected when I first started stabbing into it, it was just going to be foam underneath the skin, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's actually something, it's getting stuck in things, and I feel it hitting things, and I'm like, this is what, and I'm like, and I look, and there's like layers underneath it, like of where he did muscle tissue and stuff like that. It was, and then he had like packets of blood in there, so more blood starts spewing out, and it's just like, dude, and we had a similar experience with something I can't reveal, but something I was working on part 2, and I'm cutting into it, and I'm like, oh my god, man. It's like there's bone in here.
One of my favorite things about the first film is that we get to see Art a lot throughout the film. In most horror movies, they barely even show the killer. You know, they just pop in for their stuff. But that's one of the things I love about it. Is Terrifier 2 like that too?
Oh yeah, yeah. I will say that he maybe might not be on screen as much, but he's on screen for a good chunk of the film. Because this one we're also trying to build up our supporting character Sienna as well. So we have a lot of scenes that Art's not in that are dealing with her and her family and her friends and stuff like that. So we're doing a lot of world building in this as well. So it's not all taking place in just like a 2 or 3 hour time frame as like Terrifier does. This is actually stretching out over a whole entire day basically. So, but Art's there. Oh, he's there in force. Don't worry about that. You see him a lot.
Hell yeah.
How uncomfortable are the teeth?
Oh, they can be a pain at times.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, they make the worst thing about it, because it impacts the makeup, is they make me drool a lot, and it's always out of the left side of my mouth for some reason. And because I'm wearing gelatin, it kind of eats through the gelatin very quickly. So we've discovered that we have to basically film all my close-ups at the beginning of the night, because by the end of the night, the mask gets ripped up all over the place around my mouth, which is annoying. So Damien always has to take me back to triage and like cut up skin, like, well, not skin, but like bald cap skin, I guess you could say, and like attach it and glue it to my face and paint over it and stuff like that. So it's a pain, but you deal. It's like I also have to deal with but it's just the mouth area in general, because also we film in the cold a lot, so my nose tends to run a lot, and I can't blow my nose or anything like that. So you might see pics of me with I have Q-tips up my nose, because I'm doing that to stop my nose from running so much, because that disrupts both the glue underneath holding the mask to my face, as well as it will just start to eat through the gelatin.
Yeah.
So it's not fun.
What are your favorite aspects of working with director Damien Leone?
I would say it's like we have such a good relationship with each other. It's like there's a good give and take relationship with the two of us. It's like, he allows for a lot of, input into things, but also he knows how to steer you and direct you into what he actually wants as well. So I mean, there's sometimes where he knows exactly what he wants me to do, and he's like, no, I'm not going to budge on any of this. This is exactly what I want you to do. And I've learned to trust him on that too, because sometimes I'm like, that's a weird direction to take, but okay. Then I see the playback, I'm like, oh shit, you're right. Okay, I trust you.
Yeah. And
other times he's like, hey, let's just play around, see what we come up with in the moment. We had especially this one scene we're filming in the second one that it's like the script barely says what all happens in it, and because we didn't know what we are going to do with it until we got there and saw what we had to work with prop wise. And then I look at what everything's sitting on this table. I'm like, okay, I got a whole routine in my head now. And he's like, okay. And I just demonstrated it for him real quick. He's like, that's fantastic. Let's shoot it. I'm like, okay.
Mm-hmm. So how long does it take to get into your makeup and your costume and everything?
That takes about 3 hours. Yeah. And that's Damien doing all that too. So it's like, I have to say Damien is like the most patient person in the world, because I'm like, he's the hardest working person on that set too. Is like, he has to get there, earlier than anybody else. And he's there at the very end too, because he has to, not only get me out of makeup, he also has to get other people out of makeup too, out especially when they have all prosthetics and stuff like that glued all over them for like, flesh wounds and stuff like that. So he's doing that. And then he's having to film the whole entire night too. And he's doing this sometimes off of like maybe 2 or 3 hours of sleep consecutively, and I have never once seen him just lose his mind on set. The rest of us have, but he will just sit there like, okay. It's like, I'm not used to that out of directors.
Yeah.
So it's Damien's the man. It's like he works his butt off, and I'm glad to see this all taking off for him, because he deserves it.
Mm-hmm.
Hard work pays off, man.
Yeah.
So do you have any favorite horror movies?
Oh yeah, I have a
Serious.
lot, but I'm like, I mean, like I like certain series a lot too, like the Scream series. I love those movies. That was actually
Mhm.
my introduction to horror in the first place. Scream 2 is what I got into horror with because I was late to the game because
Yeah.
I grew up with my mom being a chicken shit when it came to horror films. So
Yeah.
I didn't watch them growing up until I was in high school, and that's when Scream 2 came out. My my co-stars in the show I was doing wanted to go out and see it, and I'm like, well, I got to go, especially since there was a girl I had a crush on in the cast. I was like, I can't be a chicken. I
Yeah.
got to go. I got to show up, and I had so much fun. I loved it. So it's like, yeah, so that's what started my love for the genre, and I just started binge watching them after that when I got to college.
Hmm.
But I would say like my top five, because I don't have an absolute favorite because there are just so many aspects to so many of my top five that that I can't choose.
Hmm.
But I would say my top five in no particular order are like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original one, The Omen, Exorcist, original Halloween, and Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warriors.
Oh hell yeah!
Nice.
We just
Yeah.
rewatched that like last 2 weeks ago or something.
Kellen has like all the VHS tapes of it from like the original print,
Oh wow.
and the Dream Warriors one that he has the Dokken music video at the very end.
It's got the sticker still on
Yeah.
it. I got it at a Goodwill. It had the Dokken sticker still on
That's
it.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, I think that movie's where the series really figured out where it was and what it
Yeah.
was going to be.
Yeah, they had to change up the formula a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I know what your answer will be anyways, but who is your favorite horror character and why?
Oh, it's definitely Freddy Krueger.
I knew it.
Yeah.
It's I'm not gonna name myself because he's like no, but it's Freddy Krueger because I think first of all he's scary as fuck.
Yeah.
Second of all, he's so freaking charismatic. You just love watching him. That's what I love about certain villains. They're like, they're horrible and they're doing horrible things, and you should be against them. But there's something about them like you kind of almost cheer for them, and that's Freddy for you. But also, he is like the most creative and the scariest villain when you really think about what all he's about. It's like this idea that he is, this demonic thing in your dreams that can kill you because you have to sleep.
Yeah.
There's no way of, around that. You have to sleep or you will die.
Yeah.
And that's a horrible, horrible and scary idea. It's like Mike Myers, that's a guy just walking down the street. You can get away from him. You can hop in a car and move the fuck away.
Kick him in the nuts.
You can just choose not to go to Crystal Lake.
Yeah, right. That's so
Freddy, you have to sleep, and he can just show up. It doesn't matter where you are in the world; he can show up. That's scary. And what I also like about him is like, there's so many things you can do with the character because it all takes place in dreams. So it's like you can do whatever you want with that. It's like as a writer, that's a wonderful thing to have there. And as an actor, that's even more fun too because like you can go all kinds of crazy places with the character and do so many creative things with him that way. I'm like that's why I think Freddy is just the best horror villain ever created, bar none.
Well, now that you said that, it kind of makes me realize that Jason must have been at his scariest when he was in Jason X because they're stuck on a ship with him. There's really no way to get away up from that. But
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I love that.
And I think that's the one where they had the most creative kills too.
Oh hell
Oh,
yeah!
yeah.
It's such an underrated movie.
I know. I was like, I don't know why it gets as much hate as it does. Actually, it's an entertaining film when you think about it. It's like those kills are fantastic.
They're so good.
They are. At first I had mixed feelings on it too, but maybe just like the more I've watched it, maybe the more I've appreciated it for what it is. But
Mhm.
yeah, I mean,
It's just fun.
yeah, it's fun.
I just got to see it in a movie theater, actually, like right before this thing. Oh, actually, during the coronavirus, right when the coronavirus kind of started. It was like one of the last screenings the New Beverly Cinema in LA had, and it was
Oh,
Jason
wow.
X, and that was like one of the last cool things I did.
Oh, how much fun that had been.
It was.
It was 35 millimeter.
Oh yeah,
right?
and it was 35 millimeter,
Oh, wow.
right at Quentin Tarantino's movie theater.
Oh, that's awesome.
If you're ever in LA, that is a place you have to stop at because
Yeah.
he screens all of his movies in 35 millimeter.
Oh my God. I gotta go. I'm hoping to move out there maybe next year or something like that. So it's like
Oh,
because
hell yeah.
I might actually have a job taking me out there, so that might work out that way. There's another film that I recently got announced about that I'm going to be doing. It's called Spirit Reckoning.
Okay.
And it's a horror western, which is an awesome
Ooh.
idea. I love this because I love westerns and I love horror films, and I'm not playing the villain in it. I'm actually playing like the anti-hero, I guess you could say. It's like this guy that's, he's a cowboy, kind of just like a feeble, cowboy, like very, just
like an outlaw.
Sucks at what he does. Yeah, and like his the bad guys come, and he pisses them off, and they take revenge on him and his family, and they like kill him and his family, hang them from a tree, and they hang him, but then they burn his face off. So he's brought back from the dead by an Indian shaman. So he comes back from the dead, and he's got some powers and stuff like that. And he's just a skull face, and so he's out for revenge against the people that killed his family, and everybody that gets in his ways, and it's crazy, over the top. Just the kills in this are going to be a lot of fun to do. It's just like I get to do some fun gunplay and stuff like that as well. So
there you go.
It's they got some good people already involved with it. Lou Temple's playing one of the villains in it.
Oh, we love him.
And Sean Patrick Flannery from Boondock Saints is the guy that's going to be playing my best friend and mentor in it. So I'm like, oh, sweet.
Oh, fuck yeah. I met him a long time ago. I met him at the first convention or second convention I ever went to, like 9 years ago. He was a nice guy.
Yeah, I hear he's a cool dude, so I'm excited about working with him.
Yeah. Do you have any favorite modern horror films?
Oh yeah. I mean, like I love Happy Death Day. I thought that was a really fun film. Mm-hmm. I would say also The Babysitter.
Oh, that's fun.
Which is on Netflix. I always suggest that to people. That's like Home Alone and a horror film mixed together. It's so much fun. It takes a lot of tropes and horror movie tropes and turns them on the head. Like basically your generic characters that you have in horror films, like the cheerleader, the jock, all that kind of stuff. Instead of them being the heroes in it, they're the villains, which is a great idea. I love The Final Girls. I thought that was a fun twist on the slasher genre. Of course, I love the It movies. Had a lot of fun watching those.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people
hated.
There's
some good ones out there.
A lot of people hated on that second one. I liked that one.
It was good.
I liked it.
I didn't have any problem.
I mean, I like the first one better, but I just think that the story with the kids is more interesting. But
yeah,
it's like the way the book's written, you're having both stories happen at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
You're going back and forth between the two.
So back to Terrifier 2. Totally stoked to see that they cast Felissa Rose.
Yes.
How was it working with her?
Well, actually, I didn't get to work with her, unfortunately.
You didn't?
Yeah, No, she's just coming in for a cameo. It's like I've heard about the scene though that she's in, and it's supposed to be hysterically funny, and it's Felissa just being Felissa, and that's what's great. It's I don't want people getting their hopes up that she's like a huge starring role.
Yeah.
It's like. Now, we just got her and Tamara to come in for little cameos. We have a third person that we haven't announced yet that's supposed to be, because we haven't filmed with this person yet, but they have a fun cameo in here as well, and I'm excited about filming with that person.
Well, cameos are cool, so either way, that's still sweet.
Yeah.
And I also saw that they cast the kid from Little Punk People, too, right?
Oh, Elliot! I love Elliot. He's my little buddy, and like he plays the little brother in this. He's basically like the Tommy Jarvis type of character, I guess you could say, in a lot of ways.
Cool.
Yeah. So he's a little badass too in this. He has some fun moments.
That's cool.
I love his character. I identify with his character in so many ways.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like his character a lot when I was his age. So I was like, yep.
Was this the first film he ever did?
No, he's done some other work before.
Some smaller stuff.
Yeah. He's great though. We were just hoping he wasn't going to hit puberty during the middle of filming.
Yeah, right.
It's like, oh god! All of a sudden, he's like, "Hey guys, hi!" I'm like, "Oh no."
Yeah. Do you think art could pave the way for a new generation of creating new slasher characters for the horror genre?
Oh, of course he can, and I hope he does. I hope that what we're doing is, starting to put a butt under Hollywood's, like a butt under Hollywood. That came out wrong. Strike that. Reverse it. A butt under Hollywood. Put a fire under Hollywood's butt right now. Is
Oh, yeah.
I have verbal dyslexia. What can I say?
We all do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I'm hoping that we're because yeah, I feel like horror films, especially slasher films, in the past decade or so have gotten they're playing it way too safe, and they're not being as creative as they used to be. They're afraid to take those risks because they're it's all about making money instead of actually making art that
Exactly.
people want to see.
I
And
agree wholeheartedly.
and I understand that's happened with some films, that had great promise. I thought like the Bye Bye Man, which Jenna Cannell was in as well. She left us to go film that film, and that when she was filming with us, she was explaining all Bye Bye Man to me. I'm like, oh my god, this is an amazing idea for a villain, especially like this. He's almost like a Freddy Krueger type of villain, where it's like you can't think of the guy. If you think of him, he'll come after you. And it's like, oh shit, that's a scary concept there. That's so great. Plus, Doug Jones is playing the character too, so I'm like, oh my god, this is great. And I understand, and she was telling me all the things that were going to happen, a lot like the kill scenes and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, that's going to be awesome. And I go watch it, and I see a lot of it's taken out. And I'm like, what happened to all these scenes? Just like, well, the executives came in and they want to make some cuts to it because they wanted to make it PG-13 instead of rated R. So a lot of the good stuff of the film got axed because it was the more risque and the blood and the guts and all that fun stuff. I'm like, that's a shame because that was something I could have easily seen becoming a franchise. It's such a great, so much potential I saw with that, and I was so disheartened to see that happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seems like that's what happens. A lot of these films get neutered that way. I think that's why there's that this resurgence right now of indie horror films, because the directors and the writers are actually able to do what they really want to do. They're able to take those risks.
When you have creative control, you can put it out however the hell you want it. You won't have a studio telling you, oh, you can't have this or that.
Yeah, and that's what we've had to deal with Terrifier. It's like when we first wanted to release Terrifier 1, I'm like, there were some studios that wanted to pick us up and put us in theaters, but they wanted to make some big cuts to like the hacksaw scene. And Damien was like, absolutely not. He's like, this is going to be the scene that sells the movie. This is what people are going to talk about. You can't cut that.
Did you honestly have any inkling that this film was going to blow up as much as it did and as quick as it did?
Nah, we had no idea. We did not expect that, and it's because like we knew what we were. We didn't have a studio system behind us with that kind of publicity to do all that for us. The publicity we got was basically through the word of mouth of the fans and the independent horror sites and like the podcasts. It was that word of mouth, and that shows you how important it is to how important a fan base really is.
100%.
They're the ones that made us. They're the ones that made us a success, and it's because of that. That's why Netflix picked us up. And then when Netflix picked us up, it exploded even more.
Yeah, I didn't even picture Art to be a character that was going to blow up as much as it did either, and I'm so happy that it did.
Yeah. Oh, I am too. But that's the thing is, I think he's a character that people can really have fun watching, and I think that's why he resonates so well with people. It's like he is that amalgamation of all these horror slasher villains that they grew up with, and I think it's time that we start having new villains introduced now. It's like just how like Freddy and Jason and Mike Myers took over for Dracula and Frankenstein and the Wolfman and all that. It's like it's time for a new generation to come in instead of just a remake after remake after remake after remake.
Exactly.
It's like we need something new and fresh.
If you wanted Art to team up with or fight against another horror icon, who would you choose? I already know. Yeah, I figured you're probably going to say Freddy. But if Freddy was out of the picture, who would you choose?
Freddy's mother.
Freddy's mom.
Amanda Kruger.
That's nonsense.
Nonsense.
Oh, no. It ends up being Valak instead.
Yeah, right.
Let's see. Let's think about that. 'Cause,
Another clown would be great.
Yeah, a lot of people would say like Pennywise or something like that, but I'm like, nah, that's too contrived. I guess you could say that's too expected. That's too expected. Plus, he could easily beat Pennywise. I say like, that would be the one time Art would actually talk, and he would just totally just diss on Pennywise and make him melt.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's what actually got Art to talk. But let's see here. Who would be a fun one for him to team up with? I think Jigsaw. I think that would be an interesting one for him to team up with.
Yeah.
Because it's like the traps and just you have that little like the meeting of the minds in that kind of way would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
God, that would be crazy.
You'd have to think of a character that's sort of like mimish though, kind of like him too.
Yeah.
I didn't think about one.
Yeah. Mike Myers would be a fun one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either way, if they fought each other, if they teamed up and they just killed a bunch of people, it would be great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw this a fan made video recently of just Mike Myers and Jason fighting each other. And it was like 15 minutes of them just fighting each other, and it was so good. I wish I could remember who did it, but I was like, oh, that was fun.
I think I might know who you're talking about. I don't know if it was by Trent Duncan. He's Florida based, but he did like some really cool mashup like fan films of fighting, like of horror icons fighting. He even did one that was Freddy versus Jason versus Ash. And,
oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Was this one like out in the woods or something like that? And you had like some like rednecks interfering at one point or something like that?
I think that was. And like the propane tank. Yeah, the propane tank that explodes.
Yeah.
Yes, that is it.
Yeah. It was so good. It was just like the fighting in it was really good too. Like the stunt work. I was like, wow, this is good.
Yeah. There's some pretty decent fan films out there. You can find them. I've seen there was even like Michael Levy and Jason Levy's Halloween fan film that was actually really well made. And if for the Terrifier fans, I hope they go back and watch that fan film because that's like, it was a really cool concept of how they picked up right after Halloween Resurrection and kind of went back with the story of Stephen Lloyd, and like they used they did a really cool homage to Donald Pleasance, and they even got Tom Kane. I think that's his name, who did the voice of Dr. Loomis in Halloween H2O. And they used this like bust of Donald Pleasance to like, be the character in that fan film. And I think they did really well with it. But, anyways, getting to the point, there's some really good fan films out there that have done amazingly.
There really are. And those people that are making them could one day become the new directors for horror films. That's what happened with Damien. It's just like that's the new blood that we need right now. So that's why I encourage people to keep making these fan films. That's how you hone your craft.
Absolutely. The success of the film got you to start doing conventions. Have you been enjoying them?
Oh, I love them. I absolutely love doing conventions. I miss doing those right now because of this pandemic. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. We were supposed to see you in Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. Hopefully this fall. Hopefully.
You're still scheduled for it?
Yeah. They just postponed all the ones that are supposed to appear at because I'm not gonna. The only way I'll turn one down is if I'm having to film. That's the only way because I'm like these. I absolutely enjoy going to these things. It's just like it's like a paid vacation for me, and it's like I just get to hang out and party with like-minded people all weekend. What's not to love?
No, it's great. What are some funner Fanny? What are some?
We're having problems with anything with butts to do.
I know, butts. What are some fun or funny fan interactions at the conventions? Do you have any?
Oh my god.
Fanny.
Well, I had one. This happened in Kentucky where this like girl was like because I do selfies at my table and stuff like that, so she's doing the selfie and she's scrolling through just to make sure it took and everything like that, and she scrolls too far to a picture of her just flat out naked, and it's just like oh my god, I'm like, oh, it was not someone you wanted to see like that either, so
it wasn't
like, I was like, oh Oh no, but it was so funny. It was like she was just so mortified. She's like, "Oh God, I thought I had that deleted. Oh my God, I am so sorry."
What?
I'm like, "It's
How'd you
okay.
follow that up?
That's okay. I hope your boyfriend enjoyed that." But yeah,
Oh no. Oh my God.
I was like, "Well, that was bound to happen eventually." But that was a great moment. I was like, she I felt so sorry for her. I was
Yeah.
just like, oh my god, oh my god.
Besides Day of the Dead or Days of the Dead in October, do you have any other ones that are planned?
Like Days of the Dead,
Like other
or
conventions? Are
just
there any?
conventions in general?
Yeah, besides
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. I'm got New Jersey HorrorCon coming up in
Okay.
September. A lot
September.
of these are like everything that I was doing earlier this year has all been postponed to like August, September, and October. Right now, it seems
Okay.
like. So like New Jersey HorrorCon, I think Carolina Fear Fest.
Ooh.
Forgive me if I'm butchering the names of these right now. I don't have my list in front of me, but
Sorry.
there's also, of course, Texas Frightmare.
Yep, that'll be a fun one.
You know, a lot of this kind of stuff. So
I heard that's like the best one.
You should do
yeah.
Monsterpalooza.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would love to. We've been trying to get me into that one, so I would be there in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat. So if Monsterpalooza, I would love to be there. Please, please.
I'll reach out to him.
Yes.
For some reason, I don't know if I think I messaged you about this. I'm not sure, but the one convention that's happening or trying to happen next month, which is crazy, Mad Monster Party in Arizona. They're actually thinking that's going to happen. I'm kind of like, I don't know.
Wow, they're still doing that?
They're trying. They have it on.
There's no cancellation.
The only, there was one, and it was
just one,
and it was Freddy Krueger. He was the only person that canceled. Everybody else, like Nev Campbell, Carl Weathers, they're all still on the list. And
okay.
I was asking them, like, how are you going to do that if everybody's wearing masks? Like, that's not going to be fun.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, so that's the thing that we're all wondering about right now is because like I was supposed to do a convention, it just got postponed, but I was supposed to do it in July, and that's what we're all wondering is like how soon can we really do this? Because you know like when you have that many people all congregated together, is like
It's gonna be hard.
How are you going to protect everybody?
They're trying to do this thing called virtual cons now.
That's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the same. I get they're trying to keep it going to like continue to let fans have interaction with their favorite stars and all that, but it's not the same as just having that experience in person.
Anything for a quick buck.
Yeah. It's one of those things that I guess all of us that do these cons are trying to wrap our brains around right now. It's like how is this going to impact us? Because a lot of us, this is how we make our money right now is doing cons when we're not filming. So it's just like, oh, geez, and how long is this going to go on? That this is going to impact this area too.
Yeah,
big time.
I think we'll all pull through.
Definitely.
Oh yeah,
everything's slowly opening up right now.
Yeah, it's like I think like my manager and I we've talked about this. We're just kind of looking at this year as a bust. It's like we're hoping the fall will help us make up for some things, but like this year basically in general is a bust for cons.
It is.
So, but I think like once we're able to go back out and do this, I think they're going to come back very strong.
2021 is going to be a party year.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be like more conventions than normal. There's going to be more everything.
I think so.
The good thing about this is, a lot of people, I think people are starting to see, how precious life could really be and, how short it can be too.
Yeah.
And, if you miss out on opportunities like that, you might not get it again. So I think this will put things into perspective for a lot of people to go out and do more.
Yeah. I think, right now we just need to take the hit, because it's like, it's the alternative is like, if we were doing these conventions like this, then the likelihood is a lot more people could get sick. And we don't want to do that to our fans. We don't want to do that to the fan base. And, we don't want innocent people getting sick. We don't want people dying. So I think it's best just to play it safe for right now. Take the hit right now, and then we can make up for it in the future.
Absolutely.
For right now, we just got to play it safe.
And I think the only reason Arizona is doing that is because apparently they're opening up a lot sooner than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really know that, but my half-brother Josh lives there, and he said like, restaurants are already open.
Yeah, personally think it's too soon to be doing that when we haven't flattened the curve yet. It's like that's how you get a second wave come in. Really, it's. I've had arguments with people over this kind of stuff. It's just like I'm looking at what's happened historically, especially like the Spanish flu epidemic, where they did do things like that, and because of it, they had even a worse second round of it. Because it just spread so much more and so much quicker that way. And it's like it's best to play it safe. You know, it's just like I'm not. That's the thing. It's like I've been cooped up for 2 months here in my apartment. I'm playing it safe as possible. I mean, I miss filming. I want to get back to filming, but you know, we have some people in our cast and crew that are susceptible to this, especially that where it could kill them if they got it, and I don't want to endanger those people.
Not at all.
Of course, by all means.
Yeah.
So I have 2 last quick questions for my friend Jeremy Moorhead, who's a big fan of them.
What's up, Jeremy?
Yeah, Jeremy's the man. Have you watched Terrifier with any of your family members? If so, how did they react to some of the gruesome death scenes?
Well, I haven't watched Terrifier with any of my family members yet because they're all back in Alabama and stuff like that. I don't get back home very often. But I have watched it with friends and stuff like that, especially friends that are a little bit wary of horror films. I was like, let me watch it with you. So I can, like, you know, you can look over at me and just realize, oh, that's just David.
Yeah.
That's David underneath that. It's fine. It's fine. But like, my sister is mentally and physically handicapped, and at the time she was living in a group home in outside of Birmingham, Alabama, that was very, very religious. And so I told her, because she was like, we're gonna watch this. I'm like, oh, are you sure? I'm like, Vonda, this is very, very bloody, very violent, very gory. You know, so it's like I don't know. It's like, oh, but they wanted to watch it because I'm her little brother, and they want to support what I did. I'm like, okay. So she calls me immediately afterwards. She's like, oh wow. It's like, so what do you think? She's like, well, I liked it. I thought you were fantastic in it. Some of them didn't, and I'm like, oh, I can understand why. I knew that was going to happen. They liked you in it, but they didn't like the subject matter. I'm like, oh, I can understand. It's not for everybody. So they probably look at me differently now.
When you do get all the rest of your family to watch it, film it. Get a reaction video. That'd be awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that'd be insane.
That would be fun. That would be, because my dad's so fun because he's such a my dad's a former NASA engineer. He worked for NASA for 40 years, so he's very straight-laced and a very quiet man. But at the same time, he loves horror films. Oh, cool. It's like that was the funniest. Is like growing up, my mom didn't want him in our house because she was so terrified of him. So my mom would always go to bed early, so my dad would stay up late watching like horror films on like Cinemax or like sci-fi and stuff like that at night and stuff like that. But I was always in bed by that time too. But you know, I know he had that love for him. Yeah. It's like when he finally watched it, he called me up too. He's like, that was really good. That was really good. Fun thing was like the one person I was so afraid of watching it is my roommate Mike. Because he's like Damien. He's like huge horror buff. He's like an encyclopedia when it comes to horror films, and he's very critical of them too. So I was like, dude, if you ever watch it, don't tell me, please. Just don't tell me, because I'm afraid to know what you think about it. And he did watch it on like Thanksgiving of the year it came out, and like he just comes in, it's like, I gotta tell you, I watched it. And I'm like, oh god. He just gives me a thumbs up. I'm like, hey, that's all that matters. That's good.
That's good.
That's good. So I was like, oh, okay. We did it right then.
Hell yeah. If you could be cast in the remake to any horror film of your choice, what would be a dream horror film you'd like to be a part of?
Oh, boy.
I mean, if they did another proper remake of Elm Street, maybe.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't think I could really do the part justice.
No,
you can't outdo what Robert Englund did with the character of Freddy. It's just like, I think the only person that actually could do it justice is Mike Levy. It's like because Mike has actually played a younger version of Robert in a movie they did together. I can't remember the movie right offhand, but he played a younger version of Robert. So they actually have very similar, and he can actually do the voice and everything like that too. So if they ever did another Nightmare, I think Mike would be perfect for Freddy.
Yeah, because I saw Mike post a picture, like it was like a comparison photo of him and Robert, and he just did that iconic smile that Robert has. It's uncanny.
It is perfect. It's like he would be absolutely perfect, and I don't think he would lose much because he loves the character too. He understands the character, and Mike's a really good actor too, so he would be great for it. It's like, I mean, I've had people approach me, it's like, oh, you should totally, I'm like, yeah, I would love to play the character, but I wouldn't want to play the character because it's like, that's like stepping on Superman's cape. You just like, yeah, it's one thing for different actors to come in and play Mike Myers or Jason because it's a guy behind a mask.
Yeah.
But it's like, there was so much more that Robert did with the performance. So I'm just like, I would be very wary. For me, though, I think this one came to me earlier because it hasn't been done for a while. But I would like to do Nosferatu. That would be a lot of fun.
I could see you doing that.
You'd be perfect for that.
Yeah.
Like that would be fun. I think Doug Jones recently did something with that too. So I was like, dang it, Doug.
Yeah.
But Doug's so good. He is so good. If anybody should be playing that role, it should be Doug. So I'm like, yeah.
Well, thanks so much for being with us today. This was fun.
Oh, you're welcome. I've had fun chatting with you guys. You're both out in LA, right?
Yeah, right in Burbank.
Okay. Well, if I ever move out there, then we got to hang out.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
I'll hit up some of the conventions out here. We don't have that many, but I'll hit some of them up and see if I can talk to anybody and get you out
definitely. I'd appreciate it because I'd love to get out there. I love California so much. It's like I've been intending to move out there for years. I'm like, things keep me here in the city, so I'm like, oh, okay, well,
You'll
but
make
if we
it
end up filming Spirit Reckoning out there, I'll probably just move out there.
There you go.
No, that's a good idea.
Yep. Yeah.
Regardless, we're excited for Terrifier 2, and we're rooting for you and everybody else involved, man.
Thank you. I can't wait for all y'all to see this film because I think it's going to blow the first one out of the water because I think we took everything that really worked well in Terrifier, we kept that, but then we've improved on a lot of that, but also addressed the things that people had complaints about, like the plot and stuff like that, and we've built upon that too. So I think we've really upped our game. I look at, we keep calling it T2. Yeah, Terminator 2 is like, Terminator was great, but Terminator 2 just brought things to a new level, and that's what we're hoping to do with this as well. So yeah,
very cool, very cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be nuts. It's like I wish I could tell y'all more because oh boy, I can't wait for it to come out so I can start talking about some of these things that we filmed because there's so much I want to talk about.
I just can't wait to watch it with an audience because that's the best way.
Oh, me too. Especially one scene. I really want to watch this one scene with an audience because they are going to go nuts.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Maybe they should try to get a premiere event out here in LA.
Oh, that would be great. I'd be happy. I'd be happy to do it.
We'll host it.
Yes.
Hell yeah. You heard it here first.
Yes.
Well, hopefully we see you in October.
Yes, hopefully.
Stay safe in the meantime.
You guys do as well. I understand it's getting better out there in California right now, so that's good.
Yeah, it's really not. Yeah. It's not that bad out here.
That's
really.
Good. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, he just went surfing the other day.
Nice. Yeah, I keep my distance. Whatever I do, I'll do filming location videos and stuff where I can just go in my car and just get out, take a quick video, and then I go home and edit it. But yeah, anything I go out and do, I'm like so far from everybody.
Yeah.
Same with surfing. I'm like 300 meters away from somebody.
Well, so that's a good thing too with LA. It's so spread out as opposed to New York City, where everything is just smashed together. You got 9 million people like smashed together.
No, yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you have a great rest of your day, and hopefully this ends in the next couple months.
Here's hoping. Here's hoping.
Right, we'll see you soon.
Yeah. Well, you guys take care. Have a great one.
Thanks so much,
David. You too, David. Take it easy.
Take care.
All right. Bye.